Hey y'all, welcome back to Mommy Time. So today we're going to be talking about birth control, but more specifically the LAM method. For those of you that are not familiar with the LAM method, it is lactation amenorrhea method, and it's specifically breastfeeding. So it pays to breastfeed, is the body's natural way of spacing for the baby. Things to remember when thinking about the LAM method is the breastfeeding rhythm, which means how often are you breastfeeding, baby's age, your partner's opinions on it. Some partners are not um, that happy with it. Your childbearing goals, like how many kids you're planning to have, how often are you planning to have your kids, your health, baby's health, your financial resources, like how stable are you to have more kids, and again, do you have access to birth control? The LAM method, as I stated, is a natural spacing between pregnancies. Most people hear that it is for the first 6 months because a lot of moms that do exclusively breastfeed do not get their periods within the first 6 months. I know with myself, I did not get my first menstrual after the postpartum bleeding until my son was 7 or 8 months old. I was back to work when it happened. The three questions you need to ask yourself, or a lactation person needs to ask you, is: has your menstrual returned? Are you supplementing? In my last video, I told you guys that supplementing simply means in addition to. It's not simply just formula. How long are your feedings? Like, how spaced are they? Is your baby 6 months old? If the answer to any of those questions is yes at all, the LAM method is not for you. The LAM method actually has the same chances, like a 2% chance of pregnancy, the same as the birth control pill itself when done properly. So if if you are having a yes answer to any of those, you need additional protection because you're not completely protected. After your 6 months, when a baby has been introduced to solids, then you should breastfeed before feeding the baby food, anything you're getting ready to give them, because it still tells your body that that is the exclusive means of feeding. There should be no more than 4 hours during the day after the baby is 6 months, no more than 6 hours at night after the baby is 6 months. There have been studies done in Rwanda that have found that the LAM method, which is extended LAM method, is what I'm talking about, has been used up until 12 months. So moms did not experience a single pregnancy or pregnancy scare within those 12 months. If you hand express while breastfeeding and using the LAM method, you have a 95% success rate, like when you go back to work and all of that. And moms that are not separated from their babies have a 98% success rate with using the LAM method. Remember, I was talking about the breastfeeding rhythms. So I'll explain that a little bit further right now. Full breastfeeding, that's where we're talking about. So exclusive breastfeeding is mommy's milk, nothing else. No water, no formula, no nothing. Simply mama's milk. Almost exclusive breastfeeding means that along with something else, mom's milk is the major player. So you may give a vitamin, you may give a little bit of formula after baby has already latched. If your baby is having problems getting the milk out, Now we're going to move on to partial breastfeeding. Partial breastfeeding has like 3 tiers to it. It has high partial breastfeeding, which means that the vast majority of the feedings are breast milk. You have medium partial breastfeeding, which means that a good half are breast milk. And then you have your low partial breastfeeding, which is the vast majority of the feedings are not at the breasts or not breast milk, because you do have moms that pump. And then last but not least, you have token breastfeeding. Token breastfeeding is basically when you're weaning the baby. It's irregular feedings at the breast. It's occasionally, you may go a couple days and all of that. That's what makes the biggest difference with that. So when you are looking at the LAM method and birth control methods, because there are a lot of different birth control methods out here, some of them that are natural, and then you have the actual contraception, like the birth control pills, the Nexplanon, like just to name a few. Think about the 3 things you need to ask yourself with the LAM method. Has your menstrual returned? Are you supplementing or going a long time without actually feeding the baby? And last but not least, is your baby 6 months and older? If the baby is 6 months and older, we would have to make sure that you are latching before and your menstrual still hasn't returned. All right, thank you guys for watching. You will have a new video soon.